10. And I want to say good morning to everyone that taken time out of your very busy schedule to join us today for our Southwest Georgia Housing Council, Housing Task Force. We know that we're back into the swing of things, on the fall schedule. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful summer. I know it was busy, but we're glad that you're back in the work mode, and we're getting back in the habit of coming on Tuesdays, the second Tuesday of each month at 10 a.m. And we are grateful. We want to give a big old shout out to, of course, our lead, which would be Southwest Georgia Regional Commission, Ms. Barbara Reddick, head planner there, and Ms. Sheena Stevens, who is our one of the planners there, but also serves as our secretary and who tries her best to keep us on spot. Our assistant director, Dr. Sonia Johnson. We glad that she's on. She hasn't called that she's on, but we are glad that she's here. And of course, everyone that's in the on the Zoom this morning. We want to start with the call to order. Of course, this is what we just did, and the roll call for excused absences. And right now, Sheena, I think you said the ones that you heard from, of course, Ms. Shirley, she has a one-stop call today, and you said BJ as well. Is there anyone else that we need to know that's having excused absence today?
No, that is it.
Okay. Want to just give this class, we just have about, I think probably about 4 of the people that's on. We want to give you an opportunity to do a brief introduction of who you are. I know it's in the chat, but I just want you to give us a shout out. If you can unmute just a moment. We'll start with Miss Harriet. Just go with you, and we'll go to, just let us know who you are and what you're looking for. And we're just glad to hear from you today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Harriet Hollis, and I am with the Dougherty County Board of Commissioners. I'm the CDBG DR and Grants Program Manager here.
Thank you for joining us, Harriet.
Good morning. Yes, thank you. Next, go ahead, please.
Next, let's hear from.
Yes, this is Mary King with the City of Arlington. I'm the city clerk here. I used to be a part of the housing task force years ago. By attending these meetings, and we learned a lot from it. I'm trying to get back to learning more about housing.
Excellent. We're so glad to have you both. Yes. I can't see all the participants.
Oh, so, okay. I thought.
Yeah.
So, Austin, would you like to share? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, everybody. I'm Austin Chancey. I'm with the Department of Community Affairs. I'm just trying to get involved with the regional commissions. I have family from Southwest Georgia, so very, very special place in my heart. I'm excited to hear what y'all are up to.
Glad to have you. Special place down here in the South.
We have Jennifer Pittman. Oh, okay. Jennifer doesn't have a mic set up. We've heard from Mary. I believe Barbara is logging in now, and our assistant director has joined us.
I apologize. Is that everybody?
One new person come in, and that's Carla Harrell.
Okay. Carla, sorry to put you on the spot. You want to let us know who you are and where you're from?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Can you all hear me?
Hear you well, thank you.
Yes, good morning. My name is Carla Jester Harrell, and I serve as Executive Director for Family Wellness Outreach Center of Georgia.
Thank you. I'm so glad to have each and every one of you here with us this morning. Again, as I repeat, we're getting back in the swing of things. We're off from the summer back into the work mode and getting our calendar ready for this upcoming year with some great things. As you all could see on our calendar, on the agenda, we want to talk about what we have coming up. And one of the things we were talking about prior to our summer break was preparing and working on some lunch and learns around the region. We really wanted to do that when we sort of thought that the lunch and learn parts, we thought we were going to try to go and do some more in-person things, but I think we are sort of relegated ourselves that we may have to stick with this Zoom format for a little while right now, but yet and still keep the same subject matters that things that we were planning to do. But outside of that, I think we'll be on schedule for that. And this is what we have that's open for a little bit of discussion, because we wanted to talk about the subject matter and the things that we were contemplating making available for the region. And we want to look at that. So Sheena, will you bring what the subject that we were putting forth and the time frame that we were doing. As you all could see on this, can everyone see your screen? What we have for we had sort of set one that we thought we could have so we've moved down a month. We actually were supposed to be doing this for this day for the Albany Police Department. We're going to revisit the in-person part of it, and that would be the only change. The time frame is fine, but it would be whether or not we would be in person or not. And it looks more like we're going to be keeping this as a platform. Seem like people are able to. It's easier for them. I think we've gotten used to Zoom, and we don't want to let it go. We don't want to let it go. So Sonia, can you tell us what we got? What we have, please. Can you see it?
That's what they're looking for that person to acknowledge.
Okay.
But there again, you always clarify if you're that client in the hearing that that's no longer a behavior that I participate in. One, either I don't drink or I control my drinking, or even if I'm a controlled drinker because I'm not alcoholic.
Are you able to mute?
I do not drive under the influence in any way, shape, or form. Like I don't even have one beer and drink now or drive now. About
are you able to do
way back with everyone to the time frame surrounding the arrest, and you have to understand the client has.
Thank you. Okay. All righty then. Thank you. We appreciate that. That's the one issue with Zoom. Sheena, can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can.
Okay. What I want to do, for the Lunch and Learn, the subject matter for the October 10th Lunch and Learn.
That's where we are. We didn't come up with any subject.
But that's the only one that doesn't have a subject?
None of them do.
Well, I see some, what
like this, like public forum.
For the public forum. Mm-hmm.
That
was the one that we wanted to.
Yeah, I just put that there, but we didn't come up with any specifics for any
specifics. And what we were doing, and while you are on here and you all have the opportunity in input, and I'm thinking about like Miss Mary King, from your area, Arlington, and from different areas of the region, what things that matter to you as it relates to housing that you want us to bring. One of the things we've been dealing with was talking about the affordable housing crisis, as it was, that we are being tackled with, the rent, the eviction things that we're having problems with, code enforcement. What were some of the other things, Sheila, help me think, that we were dealing with?
I know we had the landlords actually.
Landlord, tenant, the heirs, the heirs property, estate planning, and
Pat, we've also had rehabilitation. We had a lot of work around.
Rehabilitation months. And so, and speaking more in depth, and that's what those lunch and learn topics were, to sort of dig a little bit deeper on those areas and how to navigate in those areas, especially within in our rural communities, as it were. And so we want to plug in on these dates for each subject matter as we go around the region. So this is where we are right now. So for October 10th, what would be, and it's certainly open for discussion for those that are on, that, and especially if you're leading and you're the head of, in your county administration, what you are looking for and how we can, as a commission, better serve your area. Am I on the right conversation with that, Barbara? And you can feel free to inject.
And yes, ma'am, Pat, you are doing well. We, as you stated earlier, these are we done these. This is the first time we've done a lunch and learn. Sometimes we've done those meetings, but we have targeted individual counties, and we know that the counties' needs are different. And we are really trying to go back and revisit that again because of COVID. We know that sometimes community needs change as far as it relates to housing, but we know always rehabilitation and home ownership are at the forefront of housing issues. And credit is always weaved in there. It's that, thing behind the curtain that keeps us sometimes from moving forward. So definitely, we are looking and wanting to hear from you to see what your individual needs are so that we can bring our
Address them.
experts around the table. Mm-hmm.
Address them. So I would like to start, if you don't mind, she acknowledged straight up that she was from Arlington and they were trying to really get back and get into swing of things. Ms. Mary King, if you're still on, if you could speak to what some of you all's priorities are and what could we do in order to better serve you all, for you all. And I think some of the needs are going to cross over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct, Ms. Edwards. Barbara just said most of these things that we have. I remember back in the days, and I've been here a while, so when I say back in the days, that BJ came down and we did seminars about the trying to get somebody their credit score and all that up, and some of that is in that area that the reason why some people can't possibly purchase a home. Some of our problems is the tenant, renting. I would say slumlords trying to rent these houses that are not up to par. I don't know if there's an ordinance, or I don't know how you address that problem, but that is some of our problems. And affordable houses is the key here.
Okay, and the affordable, and that's why one of the things I'm glad that we have DCA on, because that is one of the things we're tackling as a region, the affordable home issue, that making affordable more available, and I can even say residential, just to have safe, sanitary, and secure housing across the board, whether it's ownership, even it's rental, because we're having a shortage in this region. So we are. So the land, Barbara, do you think that I know we do a home ownership, first time home buyer seminars. Matter of fact, as you brought that up, we are having here in Albany on the 16th, we have a sponsored Albany Community Together. They're sponsoring a first-time home buyers workshop. It's free to anyone that can, all they have to do is register, and they can register. And I think Sheena is going to send that flyer out. So if you all have anyone that's within your area, we're doing it is a HUD approved workshop. They'll be in line for down payment assistance throughout, whether it's for FHA or through Georgia Dream or any of that. So if you have anyone in your area that's interested in it, I strongly recommend that you take advantage of that, because it is a sponsored workshop and it's free. So please avail yourselves to pass that information along when you do get it but I think for this first lunch and learn, then do we want to do it as a landlord tenant kind of thing? Y'all think that would be great for that first one?
What, that's fine with me, Pat, because she said, if I don't have, that's fine, yes.
And we can do it, and like I said, since we are, we're trying to set everything up as, if we even do it, because I think they have the Albany, have it in the community room for those that want to do it in person, but we can also in the, we have the ability to do it on Zoom as well.
Yes.
Sheena?
Yes, ma'am. We sure will.
Okay. So we want to, for that very first one, we want to go ahead and just let it be for land. We're gonna have it as landlord tenant.
Okay.
Okay.
And since we are less than a month out, I'm sorry, I wasn't, since we're less
No,
than
come
a
on, talk.
month out.
No, I want you to talk. Just identify yourself, because I can't see who's talking.
Okay, this
For
is
the record.
Harriet Hollis, and I
Okay.
just wanted to share, since we're less than a month out, it's gonna be really important to get the word out, and, and the different venues that we will be offering the meeting, to make sure that attendance is good, and that you get the target audience that we really need to get.
That is certainly that's our number one goal, to get the word out. And I think one good thing, Sheena is so awesome at doing a quick turnaround. Once she has all the information, she definitely can turn it around. And we are blessed in that, to have a secretary of that. She can do it. We just, her hesitancy is not having all the information, everything, but once she get it, she inputs it and she puts it out. So that would be great that we're doing this first one as landlord tenant. Now we're moving into Worth County, which is for that second, and we saved Worth County because we thought we would be able to visit all these areas. And even though we might just do it just as a Zoom, we still want to have the subject matter, whatever it is, whether it's on Zoom or in person, that we will touch on that. So for that November,
Well, Pat, before we move to November, when we say landlord and tenant, who's gonna do it? Who's going to present? What information are we going to give them concerning landlords and tenants?
well, I want to sort of do it. I think the last one that we did was very successful. I want to maybe touch base with, since we are, as Harriet said, less than a month out, might not be able to reinvent the wheel on that one. I'm going to try. I will sort of take, ask Dr. Johnson to assist me, but that we take sort of take a little lead on that, just to get it moving, just to move it along.
I would suggest, do you think the same people that are doing the first time home buyers, I know we just said tenants, but
Not for landlord tenants, no.
with the first time home buyers that's happening on the 16th, do you think that we could just who's ever hosting that can just do it again on the 10th, and then we do landlord tenants in November?
That's not, would not be good. Because see,
Okay.
home buyer education is sanctioned, is when it's done and it's right, when it's done the right way, it is a 6-hour class. It's a 6-hour workshop plus a 2-hour one-on-one when it's that way. Now, when we're just talking about credit, it's just one thing, but for an actual sanctioned class, that's why when we've done it for the rule, when we've done it as part of a training, it was done on a Saturday because it has to be that much time.
Understand.
You understand? When we've done it as an exchange, we've done it, I think we did one in the January, it's done on a Saturday and we counted it as an educational session, but it was on a Saturday because it was a full 6-hour session.
Okay, so that's just it. And I was trying to think of a way that we could go ahead and have like the whoever presenting for October, because like we don't
It
meet
wouldn't be that.
again.
I think we have some people that I know that we can enlist as it relates to landlord tenant. And I think one of the things if I can, one of the lawyers that, and I mean, I can't, speak for them, but we had a good attorney that that really from the Georgia Legal Services that was able to,
From last year?
give about our
Yeah.
presentation for us. And that's where I'm sort of try to contact them again to do that. And another reason I really like to do that, they have the Georgia Legal Association, they're in charge of the rental assistance funding for the state. They've partnered with them to be able to assist those who are at risk of eviction. And I know they're trying to spend those funds and get that information out.
This is Harriet Hollis, and I also think it would be good to maybe, and I don't know if we're relegated to one speaker per session, but it would be good to have someone from a code enforcement standpoint to talk about the slum and blight and the maybe, from a landlord / perspective, because a lot of times tenants don't know that they have rights.
Right.
They don't have to live in these deplorable conditions, some of them that they're living in, and that the landlord is responsible for, making sure that they're in a safe environment, what have you. But if they don't know.
They don't know. And the one thing about the code enforcement issue, Ms. Harriet, is such a big deal. It actually needs to be in and of itself one training session. The last time we did it, it was so in depth, and we had the person from one of the counties, their code enforcement person there, but it actually took up, almost the whole hour, and it was very informative, and we could have done more. I think we would do a disservice just to include, because one of the things that the lawyer does do, they do touch on the code enforcement, but because code enforcement not only touches landlord tenant, it also touches homeowners and all that as well. So it becomes a much broader issue and deeper, and I think it can serve to stand on this. It has a forum in and of itself. I do believe.
Okay.
I'm just me saying, and I do think now, if we can do it. I don't want to. As we move into November, I think also we should think about, because of the cost of utilities and different things like that, would it be good to have someone speak on that, about utility savings, or to help, how do we help what's available for those different programs on cost saving kind of things? You all think that's good, or we can tag as because we have a lot of subject matter. It's just a matter of spreading it out. I don't want to hog the conversation.
Hey, I wanna make sure I'm correct. Okay, on October 10th, that's our next meeting, just based on the schedule. That's right. Okay. Then we're gonna do a lunch and learn. This is gonna be on the landlord and tenant rights, and I guess
Landlord
legal,
and tenant rights, yes.
and the legal kind of ramifications around those. They're gonna present, I guess, the landlord and tenant rights, and they're gonna talk about the legal aspect of it as well.
That's
And
right.
then our next public forum is gonna be on the 14th, and you were saying, that, what was that you wanted to do on that
No,
one?
I'm saying since we're going into the fall,
Mm-hmm.
if we can talk about, I'm just thinking of things of interest. People are concerned about the utilities. Well, I guess they should have been thinking about that this summer because some utilities are out too. I don't know.
Is that the same time that the LIHEAP program, does it start in November?
It starts, I believe, now those who know more, maybe DCA can say, but I think does it start at the end of sometime at the new fiscal federal
Let me
fiscal
see.
year, October 1st?
Let me see. Let me see.
That's when they're getting their allocations.
I thought I saw something about it, so I'll just kind of click off a minute and see if I can see anything about it online. But if that is actually in November, it could be, one of the things that's presented. Seems like I saw something about it being in November.
It
I'll see if
does.
I-
It starts November. It says something about November.
Okay,
So I think that'll be right on point. What do y'all think?
so you'll be looking at what housing costs, what will be our kind of our topic?
Utility, whether, to save on utilities, and I think utilities and rehab would probably be good at that one. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good combination, because sometimes when you do the rehabilitative portions to the house, the energy, you could do maybe do utilities, rehab and weatherization, because all of these tie
That would
in.
be perfect. That would be
Mhm.
perfect. Because you're going into the change, you know what I'm saying, the changing of the weather, changing people, it's just, we're transitioning at that point.
Right.
And I think that'll be a great lead in.
And for some reason, there's a misconception that only the elderly and or disabled can get that assistance. We got calls and questions. For some reason, that's
Get what assistance?
can get LIHEAP assistance.
Oh, okay, that's
through
yeah.
CAC. So maybe
Oh,
maybe we want to stretch. Well, and I'm just specifically speaking about them because I know about their program, but I'm sure there are other options available out there. But people think that if they're not elderly or disabled, then they won't qualify.
oh no,
And I
it's
think
fine.
that's
It's
a
fine.
good, I actually think that's a very good point, because we want to make sure we get the best information as serving as a task force, getting the best information out there. I think that's a great thing, that we can make sure people know who qualifies, what, you know what I'm saying, that, you don't have to be, it's not just for seniors only, it's for everyone that
Right.
can qualify, or these are the criteria, what the criteria would be in order to do it. I think that'll be good.
And
I just
we
think
could,
that'd be good to do that one as for November 14th, to do that around utility weatherization and rehab.
and
Mhm.
Pat, it would be easy, I think, to get people from these various entities, the LIHEAP program to come, and we got so many people that represent housing rehab and weatherization. So you're probably gonna have more than one speaker at this particular event, but I think that all of them will be good to be there. I think that would be a good one.
I think that'll be good. Now, are we working to try to do it? Now, we have Worth County as a location, or do we want to just try to keep it at a Zoom format, or what do we want to do if we have to identify getting an actual place? For sure, we're going to be on Zoom, for sure. But do we want to make a point to be to go into the county?
Well, I mean, I think it's good to go in the county, so we'll have a presence, but is it anyone on the call this morning from Worth that representing Worth?
And I can indeed we can contact, if we want to go, we can contact Judy. She's part.
Right, exactly. You're right. That's a good point, person over in Worth.
she's a
I'm
good-
fine with it being over there, though. I don't have an issue, because Judy is a good, Judy Young with Family Visions. For those that don't know, she has a nonprofit in the city of Sylvester that has been operating for years. She's a housing task member, but she's not on today. And if we choose to have it in Worth County, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help us with any coordination and events. And we've had several meetings. Regional Commission has had several meetings, and we've had housing task force meetings in the Sumner Room that is near the library, and you can use it at no cost. It should be equipped for, us to use Zoom or anything like that. It's a very large space, very nice space. I'm sure you remember it, Pat, and Sheena, you might even remember, but we've used that on several occasions. We would just have to, get with them to see if we could book it for that particular date. So let's kind of leave that date fluid if we're trying to get that particular building, because we might have to switch to, the date based on the availability.
Okay, I want to, so just to recap, we have landlord tenant, and we're going to sort of, myself, Sheena, and Dr. Johnson, trying to take the lead to just fill in the blanks for that one. And I'm going to ask for November 14th, I'm going to get, I'm going to reach out to Judy just to see about her doing some legwork for us over there. But if Barbara, if you could help us just identify who we need to, so far as point people for the LAHI program.
Right.
I know here, I'm not sure who's going to take the lead. I know the Community Action Council.
Community Action Council, I believe, Pat, will do the LAHI and the weatherization, if I'm not mistaken. And
do you think that Miss Brenda can do the rehab? Is she still over there?
She does it here, but we really need someone. We can talk about what we do here, but we really need someone from USDA. And let's see.
Well, USDA, I could talk to Deborah.
Deborah will
is
come
on, because I know you all can't see who's on, and I see that Lorenzo Hurd unmuted himself. He was about to speak.
Good morning, Commissioner Hurd.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you again virtually.
I know I saw y'all on TV.
Good morning.
Today. Good morning.
But Pat, I can reach out.
Honored to have you on today. But if we could, Barbara, we are going to go ahead and so as to not hold everyone longer than they need to be on. I just want to make sure that I can touch base with Judy, Miss Judy, and also Deborah with you. Deborah, you say Deborah's on with USDA?
I don't know, but I can shoot her a quick email to see if she's available. And we'll also I get Sheena to check on the availability. I mean, is the Sumner Room okay? I feel like it will meet our needs. I feel like it will. I
think it will, because if we're going to do the hybrid meetings to make sure that we reach the most, we definitely can do that.
Okay.
Barbara, I'm going to move it around just a little bit quickly.
Okay, well, we'll check on the room, and I'll do the USDA. And
these two kind of tie in together. So, as we're putting our calendar together, you see how November the 14th, we're saying we're having this event, but we also have Rural Partners November the 16th.
Well, Rural Partners, is that
so as far as 2 events?
Is that going to be in the evening or the morning, Barbara? Is the Rural Partners?
It'll be in the morning, Pat.
In the morning. Well, it's for all our new members that we've identified that need to be there for the new member orientation. This is where we want to have you come on the 16th, which is a whole different kind of thing, but it'll touch on the things that we need to know. If you want to know more in-depth information as to what the Housing Task Force is doing, how we tie into the regional commission and the regional partners network, that would be the meeting that you want to make a point to be at. That's November 16th at what time, Barbara?
We usually start at 10, Pat, and lunch will be served. We'll send out notices, because then we'll need to, register so that we can plan accordingly.
Okay, please keep that in mind. One thing Ms. Sheena is good about, she's good about getting the word out. Yes, go ahead. I'm not sure who that is.
That's Dr. Sonia, I believe.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, will we be reaching out specifically to those that are new members that we picked up from our annual conference?
I
Yes,
hope
ma'am.
so.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes.
hope so. I
We
do hope
also
so, and
had
we
some
want to
requests.
identify those to make sure they are part and make sure that they are along with that, definitely.
We
Okay,
also had some requests that came through the website on the Housing Task Force page as well.
Okay. Well, we want to make sure that they know that's the meeting that they want to be a part of. Okay. We're going to move along a little quickly, and we're going to for January, as we move into January, we want to talk about Ms. Harry, pick up on what she said to, I think, to have that conversation around specifically code enforcement and what that would look like. I don't really know, but we need to, because we're talking region wide, to have someone who's able to speak to most, that. What would that look like? So can someone tell me what would that look like? But I think that code enforcement is a hot topic, and certainly one that we can.
could we have several code enforcement representatives from different areas?
He could, if they elect to come. I think that would be great.
Could we maybe do even a kind of a roundtable discussion with code enforcement representatives from different areas, and just maybe take in questions prior to, so that we could pose those questions during that short period of time, and they answer the questions, and then of course a quick Q&A at the end, and that'd be a way to do it, so that you're getting a good representation about what the code enforcement provisions are in the different areas, because I would assume that some of the areas are going to be different.
I would also, I don't know enough, but
Sonia, Dr. J, and I forget, because some people don't know, this is Barbara Reddick. That's a good idea. Sonia, Angel Gray with the City of Albany's Planning Department. She is the president, or was, I think she still is, the president of the Georgia Association of Zoning Administrators. She would be a good person. Do you think maybe you could make contact with her? Because she would have her pulse on all of the code enforcement officers in the region, in the state, really. And she could get us a good, I think, diversity as far as code enforcement officers and a panel, and she could put her fingers right on it without us having to do a whole lot of legwork.
Yep, no problem. I'll reach out to her.
excellent.
Great,
Now,
thank you.
Now let's talk. What is it's in January, but let's talk, because we have Colquitt County there. Would it, because we're talking such a broad thing, would we want to go off to in the county like that, or should we, for the sake of it being more centralized, have it somewhere else? I'm just asking. Somebody talk to me, because I'm not sure who would be the point person for Colquitt County to get a meeting place, or where would that necessarily be? Would it be more convenient to have it maybe here around somewhere around Albany, or at the down in Mitchell County? Y'all just let me know. I'm just asking.
That's a good point if we're going to do a round table. So, because then that means your guest speakers are going to be coming from a lot of different places. So, yeah.
And I think Albany would just be Albany, or someplace along the path would be maybe easier to get into. What do you think?
What about trying to do it in Lee County?
That's interesting, because they would have we have quite a few meeting places over in Lee County.
Just let's see, we have a lot of meetings. I know there's Colquitt County has a center. It's actually right next to the Community Action Council. It's a nice building.
Where is Colquitt County?
Moultrie, Georgia.
Moultrie. Moultrie.
Oh, Moultrie.
They do have a place that we could have it there. We could have it in Camilla. There's a place here. I mean, it'll just be up to us. I do think we need to kind of stick to locations and moving it around. And since we're having a lunch and learn in Albany, let's make sure that we hit all of these counties if we can, as many as we can. And in our calendar for next year, we can add additional counties so that we have a presence in all these counties and we get a feel, we get a taste, we get to see what the housing looks like. Even sometimes traveling there, you get a chance to see what the housing looks like.
But Moultrie, when you said Moultrie is not too bad. Moultrie is easy to get to. I don't know, for some reason I was thinking one of the, like back in the woods kind of, but Moultrie is central, you can
And they
get
do
to it
have
pretty quickly.
like I said, I think it's the Murtis something. I never was
It
able to.
is, it's owned by the CAC, the
Yeah,
whole plaza.
it's a beautiful meeting space. We've met there before, and I don't remember them charging anything for it. I can.
Well, if we can get that, Ms. Sheena, for the 9th, make sure we get letters or emails to whoever we need to do to get that done. Okay, now February 13th, so I got that. Now, what would be the next kind of conversation for February?
I just want to add this because this community has reached out to me, and I don't see it on our calendar as far as the location, but Early County, they are doing a lot of, they're trying to improve their housing.
That's
Blakely, and they have reached out to me. I think it was a Chamber of Commerce person or one of the community groups there, and they wanted us to come and actually do a housing fair. Which I know that's not on our list, but if maybe we could do a lunch and learn there, that would be good. And at some point in the year. So I'm not trying to bump any county out.
No, but I'm just saying, if for the representation, if it's easy, if we're going to do Moultrie for the code enforcement and roundtable, then we can do if Decatur or Thomas or Seminole, one of those, if you think that would be a good trade out, Barbara, because those were only tentative anyway. So if you have a hungry county, we can go ahead and fulfill that need to go ahead and deal with that.
I was just looking to try to see what just my dealings on. I know Seminole need to stay on there. They need to stay on there. Thomas County, they're doing a lot, in housing on their, not on their own. But, yeah.
Okay. So you want to make that one then?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be okay.
Okay. Okay. And when we're talking Decatur County, I think that's Cairo, isn't it?
It's Bainbridge.
As Bainbridge. Okay. What's Cairo?
Grady. That's a good one though.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
Grady's a good one.
I actually think I want to trade Decatur with Grady. And
I think that's a great idea.
I think, because and I would like to do our affordable housing one for Grady, because I know
that's a great idea.
We've been having a whole lot of outreach on that area. And so we need to do our affordable housing for Grady.
What date is that again, Pat?
That's February 13th for Grady.
Oh, so okay, so Grady is Decatur County.
We're trading out Decatur for Grady.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, because that they've been reaching out. Grady has. So we're just gonna, and so we're changing out Dr. Johnson. We're trading out for February 13th, Grady. And then for March 12th, Blake, what you call that county? Is
Early
County, Early. But now we need subject matter for those two. For February 13th, I said affordable housing. So
could we repeat the same thing? I know it. Could we repeat that for Early? Because that's what they need as well.
We can do whatever you direct us to.
I think that would be a good topic for Early, and I think that's a great selection for Grady because we are working on projects in those communities and they have they have some housing needs. So affordable housing for both of those would be good topics.
We'll do both of those topics, and those are easy for us too.
Quick question. So one of the things that we identified when we met the last time was that we wanted to give the community an opportunity to tell us what issues and needs that they have, which is the reason why we listed a couple of these areas as just kind of an open forum for the community to come in and talk to us. Are we moving in a different direction? And if that's the case, that's fine. I would just wanted clarity on that.
Actually, I think what we should do is make room for each of these counties, like to have a space where they could tell us. Maybe we can include that as part of what we do.
Sounds
because-
good.
Because all this is leading into the conference. So by the time we get ready, you know, as we prepare for the conference, we will have a sense of what are some of the community priorities. Yeah, does that make sense? Do you think we can work that in, Barbara?
Mhm. Yes, and just as a note here for both Grady, the city of Cairo and Blakely, we are actually we actually over in Blakely working on a housing assessment. That's what we're looking at. Every house in the city of Blakely, seeing the condition of it. So they are part of the Georgia Initiative for Community Housing. This is a GIG team through DCA. So they are affordable housing, and they've reached out to me. I've had a lot of conversations with them. They are trying to move to forward with their housing, and we are in discussion with Cairo about doing a on the ground study for their housing, a house by house assessment. Those are just two things that
So
I
we're in
wanted to know.
line. So we're
You're in
definitely
line.
in line with this, and that's
Mhm.
good. Okay, now, so we're doing affordable housing for March 13th, and we're including a public forum. So, you know, we're including that as part of our conversation with them. Now, let us, if you will, so that we embark, I'm not trying to overrush, but I do want to touch this with the mindset. For Seminole County, Barbara, what have you on the ground? What have you picked up?
We have done several, there's a grant through DCA called the Community Home Investment Program grant. We've done either one or two chips over there. They have a tremendous need for housing rehab. It's been some years since I've gone through all of the neighborhoods, but I've gone through the neighborhoods and looked. They have a great need for rehab for sure. I mean, they've got a
So
lot
are
of
we going
substance.
to, so then are we going to go ahead and just repeat the rehab portion of this for Seminole
That
County?
might be good for them, but they're also interested in home ownership. But I know they have a need for both. They have the county and the city. We're actually working with them on we're working with the city of Donaldsonville trying to develop a master plan, and they're one of their focus in their master plan is housing. So anything that you would do in the line along the lines of homeownership, rehab, workforce house, any of that they would welcome it.
Okay. Well, and of course, you all know.
I will say
Go
that
ahead.
Seminole County, his last name is Hatcher. You know, I always get it, Miss Jeff Hatcher. At our housing conference, so he was one of our new members. I'll just say that, and
Okay.
he's the county manager, in Donaldsonville. Is that correct, Ms. Barbara? Yes. Okay. So he's the county manager in Donaldsonville, and he is one of our new housing task force members.
But what we can sort of get him on board then to make sure we get us a good place to have that meeting.
Yes. I'll
Okay.
reach out to him.
And we reach out to him, and for all the new members, we go ahead and shoot them an email to be ready for November 16th down in Camilla to be able to have that orientation. Additionally, for the housing conference, it's sort of set and we're moving forward. We will sort of, for the sake of time, I'm going to ask Dr. Johnson, Sheena, let us please stick to sort of the executive schedule so we can sort of refine some of this a little bit, where it makes sense for everybody a little bit. I think most we've touched base pretty much, got a good lock-in as to direction where we're going with this. Barbara, are you pretty happy with what you see?
Yes, ma'am, it looks good. If we could, I know if you all don't mind, or if Sheena or whoever, maybe just before we close out, just go back over the list again, since we don't have it on our, just kind of review and make sure we all on the same page when we
All on
close
the
this
same
out.
page.
Mhm. But
And I
everything
will
looks good
say
to me.
And I will say this, housing is without a doubt, as we all know, a priority for the region, period. All parts of it. It is just a priority. I want to say again, we're having a first-time home buyer workshop that's happening on the 16th. Wherever you're coming from within the region, you can be a benefit. So please get the word out when you receive that flyer from Sheena, and all they have to do is make sure they register. Just get down here it's going to be here at the Arthur K. Williams building here in Albany, Georgia. So we can get that done. At least we can get, for those who are interested in credit budget and all the things that's related to that, they'll be able to get that. Sheena, will you go over and at least give us a highlight of what we're doing, please, ma'am?
Okay, so for October the 10th, just to be clear, I think Dr. Sonia wasn't on at the time to discuss, are we still having it in person? That was the only thing left as far as that one.
I think we're doing hybrid.
We're gonna do hybrid, so we are gonna be there and Zoom for all of them, okay?
That's what I thought. Now, please, y'all,
And
that's the understanding I had. Am I wrong? Please correct me.
No, I think you're right. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
Do we have the hybrid capability?
I was told we did. Do we? I was told we did at first.
Yes, I don't see why we wouldn't. I'll just double check, make sure, Dr. Sonia.
Okay.
But, yes.
And what's the topic?
Landlords and tenant.
Landlord tenant. Yeah.
Okay.
And with the landlord and tenants, did we say who was responsible for getting them?
I was saying that I was going to reach out to the Georgia Legal Services team.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then for the 14th, we have Worth County, and we were reaching out to Judy
So far as the place.
for the place.
Mm-hmm. To make sure
For
she's the place. And
that's going to be utility weatherization and rehab.
Mm-hmm. And I think you are going to pull the name of whoever's Southwest Georgia, who heads that person, and talk to the person who's over rehab.
Pat, I can work with Judy on that.
Okay, so that's Barbara. Okay.
And then, the 16th, we have our the annual RPN meeting.
Okay.
I will send that PowerPoint over to you.
You'll be sending all the new members a little blurb on, make sure they'll be there.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. January 9th, we're going to have code enforcement roundtable discussion. It's going to be in Colquitt County. That's Moultrie, Georgia. Dr. Sonia is going to reach out to Angel Gray.
That's right.
Okay.
And
Sheena, that's correct.
Sheena, one point, I can also reach out to about the building that we spoke of over in Colquitt, since I have to reach out on weatherization and contact Southwest Georgia Community Action Council. I can ask them at the same time about the building and that date.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay. Okay. On the 13th, we are changing it from Decatur County, and we will be in Grady County. And the discussion is going to be affordable housing.
Right. And actually, it's affordable housing in conjunction with what the rule, the commission has going on to try to sort of, what that looks like. I think I think that's gonna come more into being, but those two counties that we're doing the affordable home, we want to do it in conjunction with what the commission has going on, so that it will, it will accomplish some of what if they want to accomplish on that. Okay?
Okay.
And
So I have
also,
that. Mhm.
Dr. Johnson, we want to also see what the public forum portion to include that, what that would look like. We need to talk about that offline, but how that would look. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
To include this and everything, yeah.
Because
that
because each of these lunch and learns is what, 1 hour?
Well, there could be a little bit more in person. Usually when it's in person, it goes a little longer. It's usually been about 2 hours.
Oh,
From 10 to 12 or 10, an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Generally, you know what I'm saying? It's usually more than 1 hour. I
Okay.
remember when we used to do them. Like I said, it's been, since we've been on Zoom, we've got a little spoiled, but it used to be.
And Pat, what we could do to work them in what we're already doing and include the public forum, whatever we decide, and we can just flesh this out a little bit more. We can do like a public forum before the event to hear from the
Right.
community, and then we can talk about the affordable housing that may address some of the issues that might be brought up in the forum. We can do that
Okay.
first, and we can make it work.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you can do a Q&A afterwards and go into more in-depth discussion.
Before or after, I think we can still make it work. Sounds good, Harry.
Thank you. I apologize, Sheena. I just wanted to inject that.
No, that's great, because my question was the time. Is it
Yeah.
gonna be noon, or do we start at 11, from 12 to 2
I thought we always started at 10. Am I wrong?
for lunch?
Oh, lunch. Oh, sorry,
For the
y'all.
lunch and learn?
No, it has to be 11. Yeah, 11. Mhm.
Okay, so 11 to 1,
Pardon me?
11 to 1 for the lunch and
Well,
learns?
I guess we have to flush. We'll talk, because like I said, you all have gotten spoiled with the 1 hour kind of thing, so we just have to see.
Okay, and I'm only asking because, like you said, as far as getting the word out, because when I put it into Zoom or whatever to
So I
create
think even if we
registration, we
say,
have to have a time.
right now, we could say 11 to 1, even if we cut
Okay.
it short. Even if it's cut short, we can still, I will just encompass that 11 to 1. Okay.
Okay, and then for, that's March 12th, and, so February 13th was Grady, March 12th was Early County. They're gonna have the same, affordable housing. And
That's
then on
right.
April the 9th, Seminole County, reaching out to Jeff Hatcher, but we don't have a topic for Seminole County. Just gonna reach out to him and kind of.
Well, we were going to sort of see, I guess we need to just see, we got a little time to
Yeah.
see what maybe some of
I
the.
have
Go
a
ahead.
suggestion. And Barbara, you might be better to give me a little bit of insight on this, but are we encouraging people with to utilize federal dollars and or programs to build?
Yes, ma'am.
So would it be
If that's the community needs, if that is their goals, if they want new housing, they're trying to, and matter of fact, I know in Seminole and Early, they are trying to do that. Yes, definitely home ownership we're encouraging them to build and use the programs that are available. Yes, ma'am.
okay? And so would it be not just not just governmental entities coming in to create single family housing and some sort of community living type housing, but also individuals, like, say, for example, if I wanted to build, could I come in and utilize some resource or program to build?
You could.
If I qualified.
Yes, ma'am, you could. We encourage many times when we talk with communities, we'll ask them, are you working with a developer? Have you talked with anyone to sit down and maybe look at what your goals are for the community and give you a vision maybe of what you would like to do. So yes, ma'am, that's encouraged.
Well,
would it be-
would then,
But we allow the communities to make that decision based on their goals, and definitely we don't try to sway them one way or the other because we don't know we know some developers, but we let the communities make those decisions. But sure, any developer, independent, yes.
that's a good point, Dr. Sonia. We haven't talked on the development aspect at all.
No,
You remember, Pat, if you remember, some years ago, didn't we? You remember we used to do like a developer
We did a developer.
I'm taking us
And
way back, but you know.
You know what,
I just think that would be so great because
I think so too.
yeah,
think
I
so
don't
too.
know how to even go about. I would love to have that
We've done it
information.
before.
Yeah,
We've done it before. We've done a developers forum. I think we should, y'all. We got time to do it.
We
It should be.
have.
It's a little. It was last one we had over in Moultrie, I think it was.
Mhm.
It's been years ago, but
It has been.
It has been, but we had developers from around the region
We did.
who were interested, and I think we can develop that. That one needs to be a little more built out,
Mhm.
but we can do it. We can do it in Seminole County. We can do it region wide, and we can talk about developers and deal with it from the aspect of how to, you know what I'm saying?
We definitely could work on it for the conference.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I agree. I think the conference would be great as well. Not to cut you off, Pat, but yeah,
No, but I'm just saying it'll bleed over into the conference.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's a great idea. You all, and I know, and like I said, I'm being mindful, it's 11:11, we started at 10:10. So then I say it's 10:10 and we're stopping at 11:11. We're gonna thank everyone that has joined us on this, for this, taking the time out. We know that when you're community minded, the sacrifice for doing this is a little extra. It'll add a little extra to your plate, but it certainly is beneficial. It's beneficial for our overall goals and concerns and our passion for housing as it relates to housing in all aspects of it. My recommendation is for everyone, get the word out. Let them know that the Housing Task Force is working for them and trying to get everything down to the community level that they can touch, get their voices can be heard. So Ms. Sheena, I'm asking that you please in some way coordinate that we as executive can sort of refine some things just to make it a little easier, things that we just can't do within this hour at some point. I know we are scheduled but I think we may need to meet prior to that because I think we scheduled the week before, but I think I need to talk prior to
We
that.
have that on the schedule.
So maybe, Ms. Sonia, I know you're real busy too, but such as it is, if we can get our communication set up on some point. Okay, Dr. Johnson?
Yes,
Oh.
as long as I get that information, early so I can get it down on the calendar. Right now, things on the first week of October is looking pretty good.
Okay. We may do it before first week of October. I mean, I'm just saying, it just may be about 30 minutes, but we may have to.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, we may have to steal 30 minutes. We'll talk about it offline, y'all, okay? I'm just trying to process.
Hey, can I make an announcement? before we go?
Always you, Barbara, you own things right here.
Oh, stop it. You sweet though. Okay, I wanted to announce, and you can go on the website. I know about a smidgen of this because it is a new program. It's called the State Economic and Infrastructure Development Grant. It's called the SEID grant. And you can go to the website, it's scrc.gov. There is an offering to cities, counties, and nonprofits. I won't tell you everything. I can't tell you everything because it's, the funding is for distressed communities, and on the site, you will see if your community is distressed. If it is, there's a match of 20%. If it is not, you would probably be a transitional community and your match would be 50%. However, the eligible activities are any type of infrastructure, telecommunications, not broadband, transportation. You have non-infrastructure projects as well, health and support services, to strengthen workforce capacity, entrepreneur and business development, affordable housing access, environmental conservation, preservation, and a lot of other areas. The amount of the grant is $600,000. There is a pre-application that's due by Friday, September the 5th. It's pretty simple, almost a 2-pager. The only thing you pretty much have to have is your brief project description, few sentences. You have to have your amount, what you're asking for and what you're going to match. You'll also have to have your, if you're ready for this, you understand what I'm fixing to say now. You have to have your SAM cage code, and you'll have to have your UEI number. You will need those items in order to put in your pre-application. Now,
Okay. Barbara, you said September 5th. You mean 15th?
15th. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That was another deadline. I got a lot of them running around my
I
head.
know you do. I know.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you,
I
Doc.
know.
Thank
I
you,
know.
Doc. But it is September 15th. And let me make sure I'm telling you. And all I don't tell you, you can go online and you can look at it. And I know we're talking about housing this morning. So it says expand affordable housing stock and access. It says increase access to services and legal assistance to resolve title, heirship, land tenure, eviction issues. It says support enrollment in and access to home buyer programs. Invest in efforts to improve the affordability and availability of quality housing across the region. So that's specifically how it would address housing, but it has other non-infrastructure areas that it will discuss. Like I said, the pre-application is due on Friday, and the full application will be due in December 15th. The pre-application is due September 15th, and the full application is due December 15th. Maximum amount, $600,000, and you do have to match it. All of the counties in the region are distressed, I think, except Miller and Worth, I believe, but they have a map. If you can't find some of this information, reach out to me and I will make sure you get what you need. I'm sorry that took a
And I
long
will
time.
say, I will put all announcements on our new Facebook page. Yeah.
Good, good.
The announcement. Are there any other announcements? Thank you, Barbara, for that. Does anyone else have any announcements around?
I just want to apologize for my tardiness, but you know, when things happen with family, you got to step in and kind of take care of stuff, right?
Yes.
So I apologize. So thank you all for grace this morning.
Glad you were able to make it, Dr. Johnson. Thank you for all you do. Any other announcements do we have any other announcements?
I put a suggestion in the chat box for Ms. Reddick.
All right, Ms. Reddick, please look at the chat box before you sign off.
And I just wanted to show everyone, so at the end of the information, at the end of everything that I'm sending out, will be a link to our page. So make sure that we start following.
Is that us?
That looks great, Sheena. I love it.
Sheena, that is great. I told you, Sheena is just off the chain. We're just so blessed to have her.
Hey,
Barbara,
Sheena, quick question.
Yes.
When you post on Facebook, does it also post on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Barbara, y'all pay her more money now, okay?
I'm doing all I can do.
I mean, really,
We are so blessed to have her.
So blessed to have her. The amount of professionalism and her ability to be able to navigate, especially in the social media streets, is just absolutely just.
And just to plug my department, we have the best department at the Regional Commission. And
Of
I know
course
I
you
got Regional Commission staff on the line, so they're gonna beat me up probably later.
Barbara,
Right.
of course, you know what the older people used to say, it's a pole frog won't praise his own pond, right?
That's right.
So
I have great staff, and they're all, I tell them, they're all capable. They always ask me, why you give me this? I say, because you can do it.
You can do it, and you all are doing it. You are doing it big, and we are glad for those of you who give your time and attention. Thank you so much for your support. And as it relates, we will get the minutes for this sometime maybe prior to the next meeting. But we thank you for your contribution. Thank you for everything. Again, remember, please, when Sheila sends out, she's gonna post it, but she's also gonna send out for the first time home buyer. For any of you all that's interested in your people knowing credit, budget, and all of that, is gonna be included in this for that meeting. It's a free, because Albany Community Together, they're sponsoring it, and we want everybody to please take advantage of it. Also, please be aware that Georgia Act will be having the Affordable Housing Conference, Fall Affordable Housing Conference, as of, I think it's October 3rd. Please, Dr. Johnson, you need, and Sheena, we were looking at that in case you haven't looked at it. I think that date changed, so please make sure, if you haven't registered, please register. You all interested in doing something outside of what we do, looking at that. So that is that. So take a look at that, okay?
I have one real quick question on those on these lunch and learns. Now, are we providing food, or are people just able to bring in food during that time, or how is that done?
They used to provide it, but it's a different story now. I don't know.
That's a good question. Can we discuss that? Can I be a part of the executive committee meeting and we talk about that?
Yes.
We will. All right, sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
All right, you all have a blessed and wonderful day. So appreciate each and every one of you. I want to be mindful because I want you to show up next time. Thank you so much to everyone that was here. Okay, have a great day. Great day.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.
All right.